Assalamu alaikum. Today we will start with chapter 4 about mechanical actions. Before we start, you need to prepare your physics booklet, your physics book, a pen and papers. Objectives. At the end of this video, students will be able to define the force, list the mechanical effects of a force. Let's recall our information. You have seen in the previous chapter that a body can be at rest or in motion. What do we mean by the term at rest or in motion? A body is said to be at rest with respect to a reference if its position doesn't vary to that reference. And a body is said to be in motion with respect to a reference if its position varies relative to that reference. Let's take an example. Observe this astronaut. This astronaut is said to be at rest with respect to a reference, which is the moon. Why? Because its position doesn't vary with relative to the reference. And it's said to be in motion with respect to a reference, which is the Earth. Why? Because its position varies with relative to that reference. What do you see in the figure? The petals of the flower are picked by the hand. What does this mean? This means that the hand exerts an action on the petals. What is this dog doing? Is there any action taking place? The dog pulls the toy, which means that the dog exerts an action on the toy. What is the carpenter doing with the hammer? The carpenter is hammering the nail, which means that the carpenter exerts a force on the hammer. In all of these examples, a body is exerting an action on another body. This action is called a force. What is a force? Let's watch this video to know what a force is.
Consider a ball lying on the ground at rest. It's not moving. Suppose this player here wants to pass this ball to his teammate who's standing on the other side of the pitch. How will he do that? He needs to make this ball move in the direction of his teammate. So he will kick the ball in the direction of his teammate. When he kicks the ball, we say that he applied a force on the football. Yes, the kick is nothing but the force he applied on the ball. Now suppose that we have a desk here at point A. A person wants to move this desk from point A to this point B. Again, how will he do that? Here, he will push the desk towards point B. In this case, we say that the person applied a force on the desk in order to shift it. The push here is the force that the person applied on the desk. Similarly, when you lift some object from the table, we say that you applied a force on that object. Here, the force is applied in the form of lifting. So, forces are nothing but actions such as kicking, pushing, lifting, etc. performed on objects.
So, what is the definition of a force? A force, push or pull, is a mechanical action exerted by one object on another. Example, the horses are pulling the wagon. This is an action of pushing, and this is an action of pulling. Are you able to see the force? How do you know that forces exist? A force has an effect, so we can detect its presence by its effects. Observe this figure. What is the player doing? The player is kicking the ball. The ball was initially at rest, so the effect of a force is to set an object in motion, knowing that the object was initially at rest. What is this player doing? This player is modifying the motion of an object. How? By changing the direction of the ball. So the second effect of a force is to modify the motion of an object by changing its direction. What is this boy doing? The boy is catching the ball. So, in other words, the boy is stopping the motion of an object. So the third effect of a force is to stop the motion of an object. Observe the speed of this car. If you notice, the speed is increasing and decreasing. So, a force modifies the motion of an object by changing its speed. What happened to this ball? The shape of this ball is modified. So the effect of a force is to deform the shape of an object. Let's practice. Please open your booklets on worksheet 5. In this worksheet, we will apply directly on the previous objectives. In this worksheet, we have different cases to study. In each case, we should pick the object exerting the force, the object on which the force is exerted, the effect of the exerted force. Let's start with the first case. The first case, the ball is at rest. Player 1 kicks it so it goes towards player 2. Indicate the object exerting the force. Who is doing the action? Player 1. Very good. The action is done on whom? On the ball. What is the effect of the force exerted? Pay attention. The ball was initially at rest, and player 1 kicked it, so player 1 set the ball in motion. So the effect of the force exerted is to set the ball in motion. Please pause the video and try to solve the second, third, and fourth cases. Let's continue. Second case. When the ball reaches player 2, he kicks it in turn toward the goalie, which is player 3, aiming to get a goal. Indicate the object exerting the force. Who's doing the action? Very good, it's player 2. On whom he's doing the action? Player 2 is kicking the ball. So the object on which the force is exerted is the ball. Indicate the effect of the exerted force. If you noticed in the figure, the ball first was kicked from player 1 towards player 2, then from player 2 towards player 3. So the motion of the object is modified. In other words, the direction of the ball is modified. So the effect of the exerted force is to change the direction of the ball. Let's continue. Third case, the goalie holds the ball by its hand. Indicate the object exerting the force or doing the action. It's the goalie. Indicate the object on which the force is exerted. The goalie holds the ball. So the ball is the object on which the force is exerted. What is the effect of the exerted force? The goalie modifies the motion of the ball. by stopping it. So the goalie modified the motion by stopping the ball. It set the ball at rest. Let's continue. Fourth case. The baker presses on the dough to make a loaf. Indicate the object exerting the force. Who's doing the action? The baker is doing the action. The baker is doing the action on which object? The baker is pressing on the dough, so the object on which the force is exerted is the dough. Very good. What is the effect of the exerted force? It deforms the dough shape. Very good. Summary. Forces are mechanical actions exerted by an object on another. Mechanical effects of a force. It sets an object in motion. It deforms the shape of an object. It modifies the motion of an object by stopping its motion, changing its direction, and changing its speed.